Quick video. This is one of these LED bulbs that's designed to replace, I use them for the number plate lights on the car. And yeah, this one's died, so I've tried to get it as much as I can. The whole idea really of getting LEDs was to extend the life. Now the first set of LEDs I brought were like this but didn't have a heatsink on them, and they seemed to fail very quickly. Within the space of a month they just died completely. So these ones I ordered with the heatsink on, thinking that they would last a lot longer. I checked back on eBay as to when I ordered these, and it was back in May, so we're now in December, but still that's not a whole year. And yeah, I mean, the whole idea of these was to last, you know, at least a year, if not sort of 2 or 3 years. Now I guess the problem is that of course it's not just the LEDs. You've got a resistor there, there's one there, and there's one there, and these are used as the load resistors, so that if you got some modern cars, if you just put in LEDs, it will cause an error on the CAN bus, and the car will indicate that you've got a light out because of the low current draw. So of course they put in resistors to boost up the current that the actual thing draws. On my car it wouldn't matter, it doesn't seem to detect at all. The only one it notices is the indicators, where it just flashes rapidly on the dashboard at that. So of course, as far as power saving goes, I doubt they save a massive amount of power because you are loading down with the load resistors. Interesting here, we've got this device here. Now this is a MB6S, and it's actually a single phase bridge rectifier. I was quite surprised to see that on there. I'm guessing it's because the alternator maybe isn't giving out a pure DC signal, so they decide to rectify it, so you got the pure DC signal. I did break a little bit of that chip off. Now repairability wise, the fault with this is, I think it's that resistor there. It's one of those 2 resistors, doesn't measure anything, it's gone completely open circuit. I'm imagining that's probably just the heat, something like that I'd guess. So yeah, repairability, I don't think so very much, because these caps, they look as if they might actually be soldered on, but I just grabbed a pair of pliers and yanked them off, which of course breaks the traces off as well. So possibly I'd have to get another one and heat the ends up and see if it will pull off, and then see if it's possible to get it back on again. The heatsink stuck down very hard. The one I've replaced it with, I've ordered some more of these ones, but the one I've replaced it with doesn't actually have a heatsink on it. It's one of the old ones that still works, so I kind of pulled this off thinking maybe I can get it on the other one, but I'm not too sure how they've stuck it down. It looks just like normal heatsink compound, so presumably it's just a dab of heatsink compound. They put it on, press it together, heat it up a bit so it sort of dries, and that must just be what holds it on. So I'd imagine that the LEDs are probably all fine, there's nothing wrong with them, it's just that one resistor that's gone. So it's a real shame, and I hope they make some improvements on these so that we don't have these sort of issues, because like I say, the whole idea is to extend the life of the bulb rather than having to replace it every few months. And of course they're not exactly that cheap, they're around sort of £2.50 each, or you get it a bit cheaper. I think you can get them for like £3.50 if you buy a pack of 2 of them, but compared to a sort of standard filament bulb, which might be like 50p each or something. So at the minute, apart from you know, looking a bit nicer maybe than the standard filament bulbs, they don't really seem to have any real benefit if they're going to fail like that. And talking of failing, this is a one of those combined brake light and tail light bulbs, and this is one of the Halfords supposedly extra long life ones, but yeah, that's gone, and that's about 2 months old. The brake light part of the filament still works, the other one's gone. So I replaced it with, I think it was a GE one, just bought one of the most expensive ones they had, which wasn't that expensive, it was like £3 something for 2 bulbs. But it's still not acceptable really for a filament bulb. you know, especially given that it was stated as being a long life bulb, to fail after just a couple of months. Now I do tend to drive with the side lights on, so of course it would be on all the time. That may have, you know, impacted obviously a certain amount compared to just driving, having it running when you've got your lights on at night. But still, I wouldn't have thought that should fail within 2 months, so I won't be buying Halfords bulbs anymore. Anyway, quick video, hope you found it interesting. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, all that. Catch you soon. Cheers.